Semper Fi, everyone. Welcome to the latest installment of Recon Jack. I'm your host, United States Marine Corps veteran and living historian Chuck Lynch. On today's episode, I'll continue to discuss the M-1956 load-carrying equipment as well as the Marine Corps M-1961 improvements which came into combined use in combat loadouts during the Vietnam War. To provide the audience with an understanding of one of the Corps' many mottos, make do with less, I'd like to give a quick shout out to a few of my subscribers. Steven mentioned, I carried an M-1941 in the first part of boot camp in 1976. In the second phase, the packs were replaced with Alice gear. Ken stated, I felt the later Alice system was too floppy. You had to carry too much stuff to make it feel stable. The LBE was more modular and adaptive. The field pack was sized to hold rations such as an individual combat meal, commonly referred to as a C ration, along with sparse personal implements such as a shaving kit and extra socks. The field pack's placement at the rear of the pistol belt led to it being often referred to as the butt pack. The M-1956 pattern field pack featured two flaps on the left and right inside to cover the contents of the pack, and a somewhat square top cover flap featuring a card holder with a plastic window. Common features of both include cotton duck construction, slide keepers for attachment to the pistol belt, and a pair of eyelets at the top of the pack for attaching the suspenders. The pack also included a web handle at the top, webbing on the side to facilitate mounting of gear with slide keepers, eyelets near one edge of the top cover to receive M1910 double hooks, and a pair of web straps at the bottom of the pack for attaching items like the poncho and poncho liner. An H-shaped arrangement of web straps just short of an inch in width was issued to secure the bedroll on the back above the field pack. At the H intersection were a pair of friction buckles, and the straps will go around the roll and be attached at these buckles. The other end of the straps were designed to be looped under the web strap on the padded portion of the suspenders through the metal ring at the front of the suspenders and fastened back onto themselves by lift-the-dot fasteners on the straps. This arrangement effectively made use of the empty upper back area to carry the sleeping bag, but the weight of the bedroll and field pack had a tendency to pull the pistol belt up to the wearer's chest at the front. The sleeping bag straps fell out of use with the adoption of larger rucksacks, and they were not widely used in Vietnam given the lack of need for a sleeping bag in the tropical climate. They were used prior to the introduction of rucksacks to carry a bedroll with a poncho, poncho liner, and air mattress, or they were occasionally used to carry a bundle of 4 to 6 M72 Law anti-tank rockets. New weapons and field experience led to a few minor changes in the basic M1956 equipment during the 1960s. In 1961, an experimental quick-release pistol belt, known as the Davis belt, was introduced, and it was almost identical to the previous model. The belt featured a stamped metal buckle in which a bent tab fit through a slot and remained closed through friction. Although the belt was brought into limited service, it never completely replaced the previous belt. In 1961, some minor changes were made also to the field pack to make it more practical for field use. The resulting M1961 field pack was essentially similar to the M1956 model, but had an expandable flap lid inside of the flat flap lid, and it had longer poncho straps. The M1961 also added a long internal rubber-coated collar to the pack's opening, instead of the two inside duck flaps, in an attempt to better keep the contents dry. In 1964, a second pattern of the small arms ammunition case was introduced, and it was missing the plastic stiffener in front. This allowed the case to carry 3 M14 magazines side by side rather than only 2. In 1965, slightly modified versions of these cases came into service to coincide with adoption of the M16 rifle. 4 of the 20-round magazines fit snugly into the M1956 pattern cases, but their shorter size meant a void space at the top of the case, which was too small to be useful for anything else. As a result, cases were produced in 1965 and 1966, identical to the M1956 patterns but slightly shorter. By this point, the M16 was mostly adopted for general issue, replacing the M14s as well as M1 rifles, M1 and M2 carbines, M-1918 BARs, and submachine guns still in service, so the general purpose nature of these cases was no longer essential. These cases did not necessarily fully replace the M-1956 pattern, but were issued alongside them. The M-1956 LCE remained in widespread service with various independent components of the M-1967 modernized LCE until being replaced by the all-purpose lightweight individual carrying equipment, often referred to as the Alice system, of a more practical nylon construction officially beginning in 1974. Elements of M-1956 gear still could be found used in conjunction with Alice gear into the early 21st century, especially the field pack, for which Alice offered no replacement, and the suspenders, which some regard as more comfortable than those of the Alice system. The primary downfall of the M-1956 equipment, which led to its ultimate replacement, was its canvas construction, which made it less durable, more absorbent, and heavier than the nylon equipment. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Recon Jack, and perhaps you've learned something new. Stay tuned for more episodes as I continue to explore the hallowed history, traditions, and individuals of the United States Marine Corps. Please feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell, and leave a comment in the section below. I always enjoy interacting with you folks and seeing the growth of this channel. Also, don't hesitate to tell a friend or family member, or send me an email directly to recon_jack@hotmail.com. Until next time, Semper Fi and carry on.